Good evening, this is Nerdist to Human, and welcome to Islanders New Shores. And oh, I am excited to bring this game to you here. I did play the original back on the channel in 2020, maybe. It feels like a very 2020 kind of a game, that is calming, relaxing, beautiful, and just takes you away from all the stresses of life. And that's what I need right now. So that is indeed. Oh, this is perfect time. I mean, this came out just at the exact moment I was ready to play it. We don't play too much Non-Total War here on the channel, but I must say I couldn't say no to this one. If you haven't seen the original game, then, well, I will take you through this. But if you have seen the original, it is very, very similar indeed. A lot of the basics are pretty much as they were, but there's kind of more variation to maps, a few new things thrown in. And one such thing thrown in is what we got here, the sauna. You do get a little bit more choice on the islands as you move on, and I've basically just done the first tutorial here, baby's first island, but we got the sauna, and so I need to figure out where the hell I'm going to put it, and I don't know if I want to put this down later or just get on with it straight away. A base score of only 3, but there's plenty of other things we can do. You know what, we'll try and see if we can put it near the statue and kind of move on from there. Oh yes, it likes all the trees, beautiful. So yes, it looks like we can probably, find ourselves a sauna right there, beautiful. Lots and lots of trees around, the statue up there on the hill, and we can go out to the steamy, steamy sauna straight into the sea. Oh, this is beautiful. I just love this game. Okay, so with that, we get ourselves some building packs. So in case you're new to the game, we're going to grab ourselves a seaweed farm. I do quite like the seaweed farm. So for that, we just need to go and plonk it down somewhere. It doesn't like the fishies. But aside from that, what else does it like? So yes, there are kind of adjacencies here to some extent. Statue and all of that. I don't think we're quite going to be able to reach the statue, I wouldn't think. To be honest, we're probably going to have quite a limited set of options here at the very start. Yeah, it doesn't look like too much. So you know what? We could pretty much plonk this anywhere, to be honest, in that sense. So let's go and pick a spot. Let's just say here. Right by, well, maybe not right by the sun. You know what? The thing is, while this game is a little bit about creating score, it's also just about creating an aesthetic. And you know what? I'm going to say over here, we're going to build the seaweed farm over here. And we're going to basically put down some seaweed farms right next to it. And they'll kind of clump into each other. Very nice indeed. So with that, brickmaker or brewing. Oh, let's have some lovely, lovely beers. Why not? Not a big beer drinker myself, but I do like a shandy. Nice lemon beer. And you know what? If we go in the sauna, we have a little dip in the sea here. Yes, a lovely little beer will probably help us very nice. Okay, so the hops themselves, do we want to put those down first? I do think we do. Near the statue, we can put you near the statue. Why not? Let's make that. We've already utilised the trees for our bonus. So whilst we probably don't want to destroy too many trees, we will just line up our hop fields. And the brewery wants to be just somewhere not too far from them. Whatever adjacencies does the brewery have? Seaweed farms as well. Okay, so actually could have utilised that better. This is where, just getting to grips with the game, you will find ways of kind of making things as efficient as possible. But as I say, there's kind of just general aesthetics to the game. I mean, even just what these kind of cliffs are, these kind of beautiful sort of homes in the cliffs. I don't know, it's beautiful. You can create all sorts of interesting backstory if you wanted to. Seaweed field, we'll just keep adding to that. Oh yeah, sort of start curling around. And of course we have more city pack. Let's take a city pack. There's no reason not to take both at the same time. If anything, you probably find, lumber pack. We'll take the lumber pack now, but we've still got some trees. And then we can clear space for them afterwards. Okay, lumberjack. Obviously, they like trees, but they also like the sauna. Oh, okay. So you do like a sauna. I will sometimes pronounce it the right way and sometimes the wrong way, but hey ho, it depends how I feel at that moment. So lumberjack, put you down there. 21. There might have been better, but I'm not too worried. It's fine. Is there room for that last hop field? Indeed, there is. And technically, slightly could be more on the edge of the cliff, but I kind of like it clipping in as best as possible. I'm not sure that was perfect, but there we are. Okay, and the sawmill. The sawmill wants the lumberjack, and it does like a bit of the seaweed farms, all of that stuff as well. So you know what? We are going to Can we just plonk him in there? It doesn't need to be too close, actually, does it? We'll just plonk it down there. Perfect. Now we have ourselves, city centre. So it does like the statue. City centre is very good for kind of grabbing some of the houses. So maybe, just maybe, do we want that down here? Yeah, we could put that there, just reaching that statue for a bonus. We can start to build some houses around there. And we have ourselves a boon. This is new to this new version of the game, or this new game. So when each island will earn a boon while playing, they can help you out in tough situations. They can be used on the island in which you obtain them, so use them wisely. Okay, so yeah, we're working our way to the next island. This is only the second one, so I don't think we'll be too concerned about that. We can add a boon pack, so we add a terrace, raised platform, or precious. The next building can earn +1 from all buildings that normally doesn't affect its score. Ooh, okay, but a 15-point penalty. So if we have a big town, for example, this would gain +1 for all those buildings as long as we have 15. Okay, that's interesting. And a raised terrace. You know what? We'll take the precious because the terrace is what it is. It's just a basic terrace thing. So I don't think we need to worry too much about that. We'll take let's take some masonry. Very nice. I do quite like the kind of feel of this. Now it doesn't like this house shamans. We don't have any of that yet. We've got a second city centre immediately. That is lovely. Okay. Well, let's not worry about that right... maybe we should worry about that. No, let's leave that for now. There's too much going on here. Oh, it's just lovely. So, as I say, this is the second island. I'm not too concerned about losing, per se. We're going to go for the aesthetics and just assume we'll be fine. I do seem to recall on the original game, I generally was okay at not losing out. So, I'm going to assume that will continue here. Now, this does like... Towers, market, warehouse, brickyards. This likes a lot of the town things I haven't yet got, actually. But they are very good at sort of slotting on in later, so if I get more of them, it'll be fine. So, you are gaining 14 pretty much no matter where we put you. The question is what else it wants later. Warehouse, brickyard, okay. You know what? I really like the aesthetics of you right on that corner there. That is just lovely. It is actually churning into this house cliff. Don't tell the owners I live in that tower or something. I don't know. So yes, we'll plonk down some mansions. Mansions pretty much just like to be together with their other rich friends. They don't really want their peasants around. They're a really small little thing. This way clumped around this guy here, the city centre. So I'm just going to plonk a few of them down there, right on in. We can sort of get a little bit closer actually. As we are placing. Is it right click and scroll? There we go. Yeah, we can get nice and close and scroll on in. And there are some really neat fits if you want to do it that way. I'm kind of doing this less than efficiently by plonking this right on the end here. And I don't know if there's enough room on the edge of this area for any more later, which is a bit of a shame. We'll do the +11. We'll kind of take that. Ooh, funky mansion 11. Very nice. Yeah, so... Obviously, here we are, right on the edge of this sort of panel. These mansions aren't quite going to work. And you see at this point, yeah, it's showing you that you would get like 15, but it's obviously really pink because I can't place it down. So maybe what I'll do with this guy is leave him for the other city centre, which, where do we want that? We could plug that over here somewhere. Let me just scroll back out. Could we, yeah, we could put it over here where we just grab that as well. So why not? Let's go in building a different city centre down here. Can't quite clip him around. We'll do that. Absolutely lovely. And there we go, just hugged together. As for the house, we can put the house down with these guys here. They don't really want that quite so much. The house basically kind of gets plus for everything. That's for a town. But yeah, we'll plonk some more houses on the edge here. They don't normally get... they're not huge points in themselves, but they do add kind of like a +1 onto lots of things. See, this is where like you've got this little angle here. You know what? Houses are more wonky than they need to be like this. We don't need them all stupidly close together. Lighthouse, baby. Oh, that one's fun. And brick maker farming. You know what? We'll leave the farming. We'll do some brick making because I didn't do too much of that last time. Yeah, there's another maison. Sand pit. Okay, we do have a beach over here. As far as I'm aware, the sand pit wants sort of a line of sight, and this is something that you see more of, I think, on this than the previous than the previous game, really. So there's more things like this that are kind of about what they can see. Can't quite get up to the full, I think it's 15 if you get this perfect. But maybe we just don't have the biggest beach. You know, that will do. That'll do, absolutely it will. And we can probably get another one over here without destroying the rocks, just in case we want the rocks for something. I don't know that we do. Perfect. So, brickyard, sawmill. Okay, they don't want other sawmills, but like the lumberjacks, we know that already. We've already had them. Yeah, these just don't get anything ready, do they? We can plonk him back over here with the other friends, just not too close to that guy over there. Not quite fitting on that cliff there. This just feels like a stupid place for him to be, doesn't it? Not quite working out, is he? We'll come back to him. Let's get the lighthouse, because the lighthouse is an excellent example of, yeah, some of this line of sight stuff. Doesn't like the town. They want really to highlight everything else. These do like the seaweed, actually, don't they? Yeah, okay. Oof, magnificent. Yeah, so they like the seaweed. They get a bigger range from the higher they are. So they're up here. It's a long way. It's actually a pretty good score up there, actually. We can get 39. Ooh, yeah, I think that's as good as we'll do. Magnificent. And it makes sense, doesn't it? It just gives you a little open way to the harbour. Stay on island for as long as you want. Yes, indeed. So we can actually move to the next island now. But I'm going to stay here because why would I destroy my world? Why would I do that, Thomas? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. We're not quite perfect. I see. I was doing it from this angle. I couldn't necessarily see it at that point. That's where moving yourself around makes a big difference. So we're going to continue building up some lovely, lovely things over here. The thing is, these used to be quite ugly actually on the original game. This is definitely something that I noticed. These guys used to be a bit more ugly than this, but now it's quite lovely. We can eat straight into my house, you see. This might be Tom Stantonopoulos, this might be my land, but I also dig into my towers, damn it. Okay, lovely stuff. Brickyard. What do we want from the brickyard, by the way? Maison Saint-Peter statue. Okay. We can... Oh, a 19 appear on the brickyard. You know what? We will go for that. Absolutely magnificent. Oh, the boon. Yeah, we'll try and fit that in before we finish this off. And we're going to add a boon to something. Probably just be a house or something boring like that. But lumberjack. By the way, Mr. Lumberjack. Yeah, up on the hill here, there's plenty of trees, that's fine. If you look around, by the way, you'll probably find there's more. Yeah, we could actually go over here. So you can actually undo. You know what, we'll go undo just for this moment. It actually loses me some points later. And in fact, this isn't as good as the other one. But just for vibes, we'll put this lumberjack here. Why not? Let's just highlight that. We can kind of do that sort of thing if we want. We'll keep grabbing some more packs. Oh, a shaman. Shaman is similar to before. It likes the same kind of thing, but again, we're kind of looking at that kind of, yeah, that kind of area of influence around it. It's kind of a line of sight. This likes, it says here, it likes to have confined spaces, and it likes a lot of, very little other things going on. This is probably about as good a spot as we'll get, that 23-ish. Because it kind of likes, yeah, it doesn't want to be sticking out in the middle of nowhere. It wants to be hiding in a little corner. So something like this is probably quite good. There are some flowers around here, aren't there? Oh, yeah, so it still likes that. Wow, you see, I found a little corner down here. 40 odd. That is magnificent. Okay, 41. That is about as good as you're ever going to do. And there we are. All raisin points on that shaman. There we are. Lovely little bonus for me there. Seaweed field. Yeah, we'll just keep on adding to our seaweed. Can we do better than... Ooh, can we do 12 over there? Beautiful stuff. Interesting, I have myself another boon and I can complete this island. That can only be used once per run. And that is, I suppose, yeah, I guess an essential for any high scoring run. Basically gets you out of a bind if you muck up. Prevents the next time a building would get a negative score from industry or harvesting. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to grab this just for the sake of having it for the future. But I don't think it's necessarily the most interesting thing. But yeah, we've also got another boon there. Level up. Grants points to unlock the next building pack. Okay, very nice. So, and there's also a sealed boon here. It's even a random boon pack, and 15 points sealed boon will persist between islands. Okay, let's just do that. Random sealed boon. So, do we just Do we just want to do that? Let's just do it. I don't really know what that means. I've just been given some points, of course. And select a building to get a copy of. Right. Intriguing. I wanted to figure out what all this means. So we're going to try out this boon here, this bargain on this lighthouse. So we're going to just grab the lighthouse. I like the lighthouse. It makes sense as an extra. Plus 27 over there, plus 29. In theory, the shaman, there might have been more excellent spots for that. So maybe that would have been a more technically correct choice. 32. Pretty nice. I mean, I like the fact that height actually does make a difference here. This is like Rome Total War, baby. Yeah, I want the height for my lovely, lovely archers. Okay. Yeah, 30 odd over here. That's interesting. Over on this island. I don't think we've even been over here yet. No, this isn't even like the forest island that we went on before. I kind of like it on the cliffs, it should be said. But this could just be Lighthouse Isle. 28. Ooh, okay. Is there anything better than that? There's more 28 over here, but I tell you what I love. I love this over here. By all the rocks. There's just something perfect about this lighthouse here. Clearing the way, saying, don't come this way, baby. Come around here to this boy. And they'll help you into our wonderful, wonderful world. See, I've got a lot of points here. Fountain. Now, why can't I do... Ah, right. This is what my bargain's done. The bargain is that I only have a single option now. That's really sad. I don't think I like that. But hey ho, we found out what it meant. I like the fountain, but I guess we're picking the farming pack. And this time we don't get the option of that. Maybe that just becomes the next one. We'll see Fishers next. That will give us an idea if that is the case. So yes, we're now getting mills and wheat field. And I think I want this island over here to be my lovely fields of wheat. They're actually quite like the statue mills. There's not too much that they're too worried about. Okay, absolutely lovely. This is quite a good range on it, so I can put the wheat fields kind of where I want, and we'll just work from there. Okay, so we'll just plonk you, Mr. I'm going to say here, and then we can just put the other wheat around it as we go. Hilariously, this brewer is going to sit right next to its friend, minus 11, but you know it's still by far the best choice. This is the problem with putting our hops fields onto this cliff here. Fine. Okay, we've now got a load of houses, by the way, and we do have this other new city centre. So you know what, I'm going to plonk down, I might build a... Now the thing is, these houses do a lot for the fountain, but if I put down the fountain first on this occasion, I don't normally do that. But if I do that on this occasion, I will be gaining bonus points for every one of these houses that is going to be near to this fountain. You might have just licked around the corner onto that boy there. 16. I can't quite reach it. 14. That will do. It's not too bad. Okay. And a 16. A nice wonky one on the end. Absolutely magnificent. So that's very nice indeed. We're going to have a fountain to these chaps over here as well. And... so, yeah, the best thing is when you get it right on that city centre. That is beautiful if you can do it. There's a 19 there. These guys are going to get it instead. Your fountain land. That's just the way that this goes. So we're going to continue. There we are, plus 11. Only just not quite sneaking in there, are you? That's a bit of a shame. I can confirm, by the way, the fish is the next thing that came up. So... during your bargain, you don't get the choice, but the second option just becomes the next one. Anyway, we did just grab ourselves a fisher, so it's well worth looking at that. This is where the seaweed farms are interesting, because they add bonuses, but they don't actually like the seaweed farm. They don't actually like the thing itself. So 15's pretty good. There's some fish over here, though, so the fishery is going to like. The fish story kind of checks out, to be honest, doesn't it? Okay. There must be I'm sure I saw a nice tasty 17-ish here somewhere. There we are, right on the cliffs. I don't know how you get to work there at that fishery, but you're going to have a lovely time. Fisheries don't like other fisheries, by the way, so we can just reach out of both of those, and then we can get that 15 we mentioned prior. Okay, more wheat fields over to Wheat Island, which is this island over here. Absolutely lovely. Yep, more wheat island and more houses to boot. Onto the last plateau. Lovely stuff. That probably would have been good for that brewery, but it's too late for that now. Oh yes, the sauna. So nice. In deeply frustrating news, this is not quite wide enough for a plateau. We could have had such a good plateau there. I mean, normally you use these just to build more things on, as opposed to just being for points. But yeah, that is so sad. That could have been magnificent stuff. As a result of that, we can still get it to 16 though, because it does like the seaweed fields. So yeah, we're just gonna build up a new lovely set of houses over here. I should probably be careful actually, because the width of these is quite specific. I did kind of place it right in the middle for a good reason here. So we're just going to keep on adding more and more of these guys, more and more. Lovely, 60 things on the same island. Oh, lovely, that is an achievement, so presumably I'm not doing terribly. Huzzah! At this point, I'm actually down to my last pack, but I did the boons and we're quite close to the next one, so we're actually not too far away from losing out here. Now, one of the advantages, by the way, of these plateaus would be something like this, where this park can't be built on this stuff here, but the park can be built over there on the plateau, which is lovely stuff. Now, actually, oh, that could have been lovely. Yeah, the problem is I've got all these towns built on those areas, so this is actually such a good spot for a park. I kind of feel like I have to do it, even though, you know what, there aren't too many amazing places. This is a really bad score for a park, but just we're getting towards the end of this island. Just for the aesthetics, really. I just kind of like the idea of this park on this cliff here. Everyone just look up at the beautiful park. Oh, just beautiful, magnificent. I've definitely said beautiful way too many times in this episode already. But you can see we're on to the next building pack. We've got ourselves a new sauna. Lovely. We might not get to the hut. The hut often worth a lot of points. Now, do you get yourself points for all sorts of things? Apparently house does give you +1, because that boon, I was looking forward to maybe using it there. So 33 here, right here. This is like a town centre sauna. Right there, 39. Now, I'm just gonna do this because we're going to see this. Precious. Precious is activated on our sauna. Now, this actually doesn't make too much difference on this here occasion. So I don't know that I necessarily would want to be using it. So actually, yeah, I can scout it out. It doesn't give me too much because it actually does include house already. So you know what? We're going to say we have ourselves another lovely sauna. And this works for both of these towns here. Have yourselves a nice boil off in the sauna and into the sea. Oh, just perfect, just perfect. Now I've kind of got to get myself all the way around here, 53 more points from what's left, and that's not a lot. I'm not sure that's particularly possible, so I might need to be using Precious here very carefully. The park does gain from houses and mansions, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to make good use of it really, but I suppose we're going to have to see if that can help in any way. The problem is it has a 15 penalty for being used, so unless I find something very clever, unfortunately this is too many adjacencies anyway. Really what you want this for is something a bit more random. So I'm going to see what I can do at this park, but I think we are at the end of this island now. Unfortunately, I haven't built all of my towns on these little wooden thingamabobs. The word's completely gone from my head. That's the technical term, of course. 17 will have to do, but I'm never going to get a mansion down with a plus, 36, especially considering they have all of the positives in the world. So we're just going to use Precious on it. Probably should have used it actually on that sauna now we think of it, because this is just minus all around. So I think we're just going to have to not use the Precious, I'm afraid, and we will finish off here. We'll just put you down there, and with that it's time to move to the next island. Reach a draw limit of 2 buildings on 1 island. Okay, so sadly we didn't quite get to the hut there, but this is a beautiful place, and I should point out that you can go on to photo mode here. Now I think there is like a little, not quite DLC, but a kind of an extra when you get the game that kind of gives you more options of this, kind of like more fun filters and things like that. But what angle do I want? I've got my sauna over here and I've got my other sauna over there. Oh, this just has them just both in view. Okay, we're going to take ourselves a lovely screenshot of this. That is magnificent. And maybe we'll just grab one a little bit up close of this here part of the world, because really this is what it's all about. This little area down here, beautiful, beautiful towns. A seaweed farm, you've got to love it all. Okay, and with that, we'll head back and we'll resume our game and we'll travel to a new island. Now, okay, it's going to say we're going to move on. Sadly, we don't get to see our island again. But as we move on, we now get ourselves a bit of a choice because this has, as I say, got a few changes from the original game. Yeah, few undos plus 100. I would have got slightly more if I hadn't have shown you that. But yeah, the points tallies is slightly different. And now we can see we're on to Island 3. And we're going to get a choice. We can go for Desert Aurora. Boons also grant points when used. Okay, so that's going to take a bit more experience. But you do get the aviary, which is quite interesting. The score persists as you grow your carrier pigeon network. Okay, so yes, this gains more points on each island you use it. But then we also had temperate with a temple, baby. Okay, yes, we can build the temple to Constantinople. Yeah, scenery, beautiful, cooler climate, high potential. Yeah, I do quite like the temple. I feel like this is maybe a bit more experience to be used. So let's go for that one there. And let's see what the island looks like because they do vary a fair amount. Ooh. Okay, some grand old ruins here. It looks like I don't have an awful lot to play with. Oh no, very, very little land. This could be interesting, especially when you've got to put down a temple which really likes lots of specific things. So yes, the temple starts with a massive minus of 75, but it does gain a lot, so you really want to hold back on building it for as long as possible. So brewing or brick making, you know what, brick maker sounds better because we can do more cliff things. I guess sand pit, we're gonna have to give it a try, baby. Right at the start here I realised I'd probably been absolute numpty, which just trying to get the 13 here, so precise, this 13. Yeah, so I've made a bit of a boo-boo, which is that I've picked something that the temple doesn't like. I really cannot get this 13 to come up. You know what? That 1 point won't matter. Definitely will matter later, won't it? Right. So basically, yeah, if you look at what the temple doesn't want, it doesn't want a brickyard. I have a brickyard, Thomas, so maybe I shouldn't have been picking that pack. I'm about to have 2 of those. So that could be problematic. Nonetheless, we'll hopefully be fine. Yeah, that'll be a... Ooh, that's just in the way of the scoreboard there, unfortunately. There we are, plus 11. So yeah, we've got that. We can get more, and I'm going to hold back on that for a while. The city pack, though, is very helpful for the temple. So what I want to try and do, city centre, that is plus 10. Every mansion and house is 8 or 10. So really, 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 what I need to make sure I have a really clear idea of is where the hell am I placing this thing? Right here, I guess. We need it to be, well, actually I need it to be as central as possible to try and get as much around it. So yeah, I want to maybe right off the straight edge of this. But it's going to be hard. I need to just kind of work up to that tree and not be on the side of that. So yeah, I'm going to try and build some things down, but this is where future planning is really, really crucial. So we want the city centre, and that needs to be, yeah, you see, we're going to build that here. That means, oh, see, this is difficult now because now I need to build the houses in the right place for the temple too. Oh no, where's the city centre go? I can't see properly. Okay, that goes there. The city centre could go about here. That's not ideal for all of these houses because a lot of these mansions, they have a very, very small radius for it. The others not so much. Okay, let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and put it just beyond there. I'm going to say that's what we do because the temple should still fit in just about here. Perfect. Okay, so we're now minus 25 only, which means we need to kind of build along this line here, and hopefully we'll be fine. This time we're going to learn our lesson, okay? We've got brewing and lumber coming up, and I can see their sawmill is minus 20. Now, there are quite a lot of trees up top. There are actually quite a lot of trees around in general, so the question is really, is brewing going to be sensible? I'm just going to go for it anyway because it does give us a fair few houses. The houses actually, yeah, the hop fields. What do we like? We like the statue, but nothing else too much. And the brewery, it only cares about the warehouse, the harbour. Okay, we can build these over here on this little island. Here's Beer Island. Lovely stuff. So yeah, we're going to get on with Beer Island in this part of the world. And hopefully we will have room for a few more fields. Oh, I don't know about that actually. Now I've done that, not convinced at that fitting on very well at all actually. We might have to do it like that and just hope it works out. I'm having to be kind of sensible, but the brickyards, to be fair, are going to be fine so long as I'm sensible. Now the temple fits in here quite cleanly, 35 right now. But actually the range is only pretty much just on that square up there. So as long as I'm sensible with the brickyards, we'll be fine. We actually do have a fair few of these saw pits, which are potentially helpful for them. We actually do have some nice positions. You need to be careful up there, though, because that just gets a little bit too close. He doesn't like his friend over there. Now, of course, I can just do the undo button if I need to. So for example, now with the temple, yeah, I can check. I'm absolutely fine. So what we're going to do now, yeah, there we go. There should be some nice positions for these beautiful mason towers. Plus 20 there. He doesn't want a friend around, but if we were to... Actually, not gaining from that, are they? They're gaining from the actual, yeah, the brick peoples rather than him. Can we get this low enough where it just clips? Yeah, there we are. That's nice to see. Using height to your advantage once again. We're going to keep building these houses and mansions. This is going all right. I'm kind of doing what I need to with all of this. This isn't not quite getting the right shape right here, mind you. But we're going to keep trying, and I think we're eventually going to get ourselves where we want to. I actually have a second town centre. It's worth taking more. Lighthouse, that's just some nice points and a few more mansions. So that is beautiful. 32 over there. Let's not place it on there, although that would be magnificent. 18. I do have some seaweed down here, but there isn't actually a proper outcrop for that on this occasion, unfortunately. We do have a 35 down here. Don't know if we beat that on this one. Only 32, 26. Okay. Absolutely lovely. You know what? It's not the highest thing in the world, but it's still just in range of all of those guys. So it's absolutely fine. It's a rocky outcrop. You need to get that protected. There's a boon. Let's make sure we keep an eye on this. Reroll. Okay. Reroll the choices. It'll grant the terrace. Now, we are going to lack space. So that is not the worst idea, actually. Now, this is re-rolling the choices. Ooh, that is quite tempting. Rerolls persist between islands as well. Let's take it. Let's take it. We're actually still quite a long way away from there, but we've started to get plenty of options in place. And the temple will be earning us good points now. Now, I'm not sure this is the best time to use the reroll, but I'm going to do it anyway because we know lumber maybe isn't the best. Well, actually, is it though? Because we don't need to worry about being close. You know what? We won't worry about it. We'll get the lumber for now. More and more mansions coming in, which is excellent news. We've got a very sneaky seaweed farm down here that is joined up with its friend, which is lovely stuff. We don't need it to be perfect, to be honest, although it would have been good if that could have been slightly more precise. Lumberjack friend. Okay, so you're gaining from trees, and there are an awful lot of them. This place is teasing, isn't it? Teasing us with its trees. 14, 15. I think that'll be absolutely fine. Let's just again check. What have we got there? Place a lumberjack that scores at least 15 trees. Okay, very nice. Yeah, so we're starting to have this temple much better now. Plus 63, and we've still got more surrounding to do, baby. I'm going to build myself a new city centre, by the way. It's on this cliff here. Not necessarily the best for future building, but it's a good amount of points for now. Because you've got all these masons here on the hill. And what it might... Well, it's not actually going to help out, that is it? But I could always build more things down here as I start to close this circle. Now, I'm just trying to get the best... Oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. How wide does this go? 79 now. Okay, so this house here actually is fine. So we can... Ooh, okay. We can pull that across there. We'll just check that we're fine. 89 now. Ooh. Yeah, unfortunately, some of these houses and mansions aren't necessarily gaining me too much in and of themselves. But this guy is quite happy. This mansion is not scoring me points. So, you know what? So you can just come down to the new city centre. Oh, lovely. Yeah, you can just build yourself there on that cliff. You have a lovely time over there. That's absolutely fine. So Shaman, there must be some good spots for that. 2 more city centres. Wow. Okay, I'm going to find a lovely place for this guy. There might be a better spot, but he can find the statue. And I kind of love the idea of the Shaman just hiding in this little corner here. Absolutely magnificent. Ah, yes, these people wondered, why have we got this massive plaza in the middle of our city here? Don't worry, one day, like in Barcelona, we'll spend 10,000 years building a cocking temple. One day you'll have a temple, damn it. We're so close to getting this in position now. All right, I'll keep on teasing it. We'll get there eventually. Deeply upsetting. I realised that I could have left space for a cocking fountain. Damn it. Okay, there's still some decent positions over here. There's a 20. We will take the 20. That could have been so much better, though. We've got more booms coming in and a statue. Ooh, always nice. All buildings can earn points from it. Indeed, it can. Okay. Yes, it doesn't want to have a statue near it, though. That's the only thing, of course. Okay, I'm not sure where I want to be plonking this down. I'm not used to plonking down statues. This is fun. Was that in the original? I don't remember that being the original. It likes all its trees. Doesn't like being in contact with its other friend, obviously. So, all right. Minus 30 odd. We can probably do something good with it. With the next statue placed down, then we are getting closer and closer to our final placing of the temple. Now I've got some plateaus here which could be very, very good indeed with the town centres, the masons. Yes, I made a big mistake with the masons, by the way. These are the mason. They're plus 20 to the temple, damn it. I could have potentially made some really good use of those. But we do have a few town centres and the plateaus could be very helpful if I could find any way of actually plonking them down. Not sure I'm actually quite managing to do so, which is a bit of a pain. Just put down the statue and actually could have been really helpful to build a statue and 2 new plateaus all next to each other. Could undo, I suppose, but I'm not going to bother. I'm going to build a new city centre right here, and actually that will give us the opportunity to plonk down a couple of these bad boys right next door. Is there any reason for me not to put down the temple at this point? I'm not sure. I mean, there's so many city centres here. It's actually mad. I've never seen as many as this. But there's quite a lot of potential use for them. I mean, they're very good in terms of their own points normally, but they're starting to be more problematic because they're just overlapping with each other permanently at this point. Yes, you can see here, down to 19. It's pretty good, but it's not as good as you might expect. City to be. I'm going to put 19 there. That's not brilliant, but it might just have a sort of reach down effect. The only other thing I'm thinking of for this temple here, by the way, is there could be a park or a cliff. Now the park has just come in. Oh, it's not a small one. I was hoping for just a little Parky McGee. 20. Sadly, we're not going to have great things for this around there. There's a 12 here. It's really not that good for a park, so I'll have to come back to that. But there's still some decent mansions and things down here. Plus 4, it's not great, but they do have a bit of a knock-on for other things as time goes by. Sadly, this seaweed is no longer going to be too helpful because it's way too close to that guy. If I get more seaweed, I'll plonk it in between. And we've got a little bit of seaweed field here, yeah, because right in between the two of them, you get some very nice bonuses. So we'll go for that. Interesting. Demolish. Select a building to remove. You get to keep 60% of what it originally scored. I could use that for the temple. Demolish it and then rebuild it, I guess. I suppose 60%, very specific. Yeah, I guess it lets you kind of like deal with a problem, but only if it's like a high scoring problem. I mean, I guess using it on something high scoring isn't the best idea, but equally there's no reason you couldn't. That one's intriguing. I don't know if that gets to stay beyond this round. So, yeah, we actually do... Right, okay. Yeah, so you do lose points, but obviously it's 60% of what it originally actually scored. So, in effect, you obviously will gain on it still. So, in theory, I could place down this temple now for 145. That's the top. Okay, so yeah. 145 is what we can do. And I'm not seeing any more little blue around here. Because realistically, you know what, I'm just going to do it, are we? I think so. Down we go! Massive temple. High score, 5,000 points and 75 plus from a building. Okay, having built our temple, we're going to immediately destroy it just for the hilarity. So that leaves us 58. So we're going to demolish it. We're going to demolish a building that removes at least 40 points. Lovely. We'll come back to that in a minute. Back to build... Oh... We don't get to rebuild that temple. Okay, well, we're not going to do that then. We learned an important lesson about demolish. They were a step ahead of us on that exploit. Yeah, so, okay, you can't exploit deleting a building just to rescore the points. Noted. That is a strange one, but I think we're going to go for that 30. Some positives, some negatives going on. Unfortunately, these parks are really not doing me very much good on this occasion because I just don't have space to put them in an excellent position. We spent so much time trying to build the temple that it's kind of come at the expense of everything else, and then I demolished it immediately. Ah, lovely stuff. Yeah, you'd like to think we could get more out of these, but we just can't squeeze a great position out of many of these parks, which is such a shame. They're normally so good. And this is the thing where, like, I do enjoy, for example, building the temple here. It's fun to kind of do that once in a while, but realistically, it's fun just to kind of put things down. And I do find if I spend too much time trying to be perfect, I mean, on this occasion, it is magnificent. I mean, look at this. That is just glorious. And the light changes as well, by the way. You can fiddle around with that in the settings. Where are we? One of these. I'm not sure which. We can definitely change the colour or the time of day. Not sure where it is. There we are, time of day. So we can just change that around. Obviously, this kind of nighttime thing or this kind of dawn. Oh, yeah. Let's go to dawn for the moment. But yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely. Absolutely is. Okay, I also just got the cliff house, by the way, as one of my random things. One of my sort of extra boons. That's the word. What are these like? Basically, they are kind of like every other town thing, okay? But they'll basically hang off the edge of the cliff, which is quite fun. So we'll have a few of these. Plus 11. I'm not too worried about the score being perfect at this point, although it must be good being on the edge of this cliff. Oh yeah, down there. That's absolutely lovely. That's magnificent stuff. Can we get any more silly ones? It doesn't like being there. Plus 14. We'll do that. It's absolutely grand. Do you have any boon? Just continue with that. Duplicate. Okay, right. Okay, so we can duplicate a building. We're going to take that one. We'll have demolish, which I'm obviously not using right now. Oh, the sauna. The sauna's back. That is lovely. Oh, this is going to be ridiculous. I should use the sauna for that boon, I reckon. So I'm going to go and sort that out. I can get a 59 sauna over here, baby. People just to clamber down from the town. And oh, that is just lovely. Now, they don't want to be too close to each other. But in theory, if there's like a stupidly high score there must be another one around. We'll have to see if we can figure out what that angle would be. They don't like all this industry, it should be said. So it's probably going to be this way. Oh yeah, 40 odd. But again, we're not quite in a position where we can get to the sea, which is kind of the point, isn't it? I'm going to jump out. Oh, 40, 45. Oh, yeah. Okay, right next to whatever that is, like the brickworks or something. Anyway, come out of the brickworks, jump in the sauna, jump in the sea. Have a lovely day, everyone. Oh, and the tower. The tower is a good reason of demolishing something, actually. So we might well demolish 52. 65, baby! We might get better, but I don't know that we'll do too much better than that. That would have been a good chance to duplicate, actually, if we had a duplicate, but I don't think we do. Blossom. Areas make all the trees blossom for +2 points. They will count as flowers and trees. That sounds pretty. We'll do that. Pretty indeed. They're now going to be extra pretty, and with that, we might be able to make use of it, actually, because we'll grab the warehouse, that's fine. Lumberjack, now they like all of these tree things, don't they? Yes, well, it's not the flowers for things like the shaman. That would be really powerful. That's what we want. Now, in terms of the tower, by the way, this tower, unfortunately, is just going to be... This is where the tower can be quite interesting, because you can try and place them really tactically. So you kind of get... There we are, 40 odd. Just out of range of each other. I've kind of put them a little bit too close here, but it's fine. As I say, we've already got a pretty darn good score. There's a 41. Tower over there. Lovely. And one day we'll have another tower over here, and Princess Thomas will have his perfectly symmetrical tower land. Lovely warehouse next to my trees, +33. That's not too bad either. We're doing pretty darn well here. I am impressed, because at the start I was a little bit concerned, it should be said. But we're doing pretty nice. Oh, I can't quite squeeze that fat boy in. There we are, 21. Do not quote me on that line. And on to the parks. Oh, the parks. They've been letting me down the whole time. But we can get a nice park here on the plateau. Oh, this one. This one maybe we can just fit in somewhere. One problem with mixing up all the houses and mansions, as I've done here, is that some things like the circus, yeah, they react to the houses, not the mansions. So I'm kind of going to struggle to put in some of these late things like, not so much the fountain, but yes, I've got the market as well. The market, which could be insanely powerful, but not with this small amount of land, +87 in the centre there. Yeah, 92, 94. I mean, it's ridiculous, 96 in this area, but there's too much to demolish, damn it. Now, I just built this warehouse, but you know what? We're going to make use of demolish, okay? We've learned how to demolish things, and so we're going to... It doesn't fit. Thomas, it doesn't fit. We just demolished more things that don't fit. Oh, I thought it would. Oh, okay. That's really sad. That's so close as well. The circus doesn't get anything there. So maybe we'll just undo that. That's fine. We'll leave it in. Yeah, you can see here how normally I try and leave space for this kind of thing, but it's a bit of a struggle on this here occasion. Is there anything else I could just demolish? I don't know that I can. We're going to use demolish the proper way this time, okay? Minus... Oh, 0, -7 there. Oh, I thought I might demolish 2. We're going to demolish 2 buildings, okay? We're going to use it properly this time, because this time we're going to put in a fountain here, okay? We demolished 2 mansions, 2 rich people, sod off. We're going to build a lovely fountain on your homes instead. You see, I've managed to use it vaguely well. We've opened up some space for a big sandpit. Do not have room for sandpits, guys. There is not enough room for more sandpits, okay? All of them have lots of negatives because they're all right next to each other now. Not helpful at all. We're going to try and build a circus on this cliff or something. I don't know. Oh, a tavern! Oh, you see, the tavern's going to be best with these guys, with the brewery. Yeah, unfortunately, only +3 over there. -15 as a base. That's a bit sad, isn't it? But I'm going to put it here for 0. But that's mainly because the circus does... Oh, the circus is supposed to go. Let's try that again. This has been getting worse and worse as it's gone on. Okay, we're going to plonk you down here. Something like that. You see, this is worth more now. 11, you see? It was all part of the plan. The circus... can't quite... Does that reach? It's not reaching it. We're going to try this one more time. We're going to put the tavern here. Now does the circus reach it? There we go, 22. We're going to build some more houses here, damn it. Well, I think it's just about over. All I've got are these massive buildings that I can't really do enough with. 26 for the circus, that will have to do. That's not bad, but it's not going to save us at this point. What do we have, by the way? We've used up all our random boons doing stupid things. We have the Hermitage, which is an interesting one. It kind of just likes empty things, nothing going on. We just don't have enough space for nothingness going on, but it's always worth bearing that in mind. But there's nothing actually here for it to gain points on either. It's basically it likes all of the nice things. Shaman Fisher Brewer actually as well, but the blooming trees that I bloomed earlier, they give a fair amount. But yes, you can see quite a lot of town, minus 150. Probably don't want to put that down, no. So we'll probably just put it down on nice safe space, like over here. I don't know that, that we can do much else actually. Now the only thing is, we can just move on to the next slide. We don't need to put down anything stupidly. That's fine. So I tell you what we'll do. We'll put the Hermitage over here. It isn't going to gain us any points, but we appreciate that it exists, okay? We can look out from the sauna into the Hermitage. Lovely, lovely stuff. And, well, I think that is the end of this aisle, isn't it? It is, quite lovely, it should be said. It's quite lovely. With our magnificent temple to me here in the city centre. Who can argue with that? Constantinople and the Hagia Sophia. Beautiful. Okay, yeah, and the market, sadly, the demolish, we didn't go for that particular option. So, oh no, the Hermitage. Oh, I lost more points probably. Okay, you go back there, you go back there. But yes, I think we'll move on at this point. Just before I do, I will take myself a lovely screenshot of this world. Beautiful stuff. In fact, we will do it on photo mode. Let's do it properly in photo mode. Hide the UI. Take it now. In fact, on photo mode, time of day. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like it. Do I want that little touch of sky? No, I like it like that. Yes, photo mode. Hide the UI, and we'll grab ourselves a beautiful, beautiful picture. Oh, magnificent. Okay, so with that then, I think we will move on to the next island. But I suspect, ladies and gentlemen, this is time for me to leave you. We will, though, have one little look at what is to come. Plenty of building points here. Boons used gave me points. I'm not going to do too much for it. No, I didn't get anything for not undoing. At least 2,000 points if I was scoring any negative ones. Okay, nothing negative there. Apart from when I demolished the building. So we have ourselves deserts, arid and earthly colours, swaying palm trees, the aviary, oh I do want to see that, and lava. Ooh, safe haven in the Syrian innards of the world. Fortune teller gains points depending on the number of buildings in your toolbar. That sounds fun, just for the drama, just for the pictures, just so you can see the lava. Ooh, I'm going to regret this one, aren't I? I think so. Obviously, the fortune teller here. I mean, this just starts to give more challenge, I guess, to playing this version of Islanders, because yeah, you've got to kind of plan these things in a little bit more. These things have got to. I just want as many things in this building bar as possible, which is going to be fine. But I don't have anything. How am I supposed to win this? Well, this is going to be interesting. Interesting things just happened as I begun this. I know I said I'd end, but just before I do the outro, I thought, oh, I'll just keep playing. But yes, as I've done a little bit, this has jumped up and more land has appeared underneath. Well, that is interesting. Not quite far enough away from my city centre, though. Of course, if I built my city centre over here, it would have been fine. But no, the game knows and it wants to be a dick. So there we are. Okay, there might be more mysteries to this than you might have thought. But I will be leaving it here. I'll leave it for you to explore yourself. As I say, this only just came out, although this might be a few days later when I actually release this video. However, this game, I don't think this can go anywhere on here. It's going to need to be on these cliffs. I don't know how these are even going to work on this particular occasion. Was this a terrible idea? It might have been a terrible idea. Okay, well, anyway, it was about £8 to £10. It wasn't off as sort of just on release when I first started. But you know what? I think we will leave it up here today. Well, as we lead it up for today, I should point out there is a leaderboard and things as well. Obviously, this game has only just come out, so I am 1623rd in the world. I should probably continue today so that I can be high up on that scoreboard. If any of you are on this scoreboard, absolutely lovely. But do obviously tell me if you happen to be one of these guys like Skibbity over here. But hey ho, we will be leaving it now. This is a lovely, lovely game. So relaxing and chill. And as I say, I don't do too much non-Total War on this channel. I do generally stick with the things that make me feel comfort and cozy, and Total War is a cozy game for me, but this one is much more traditionally cozy. Your city builder, I do love this kind of thing, particularly when we're in the middle of a series, when we're not in the middle of a series, like right now where we're doing a bit of battle royale. I do want to throw in a few more non-Total War games like this one in here. This is absolutely beautiful and a lovely, lovely sequel to what was a just magnificent game, so I would very much recommend it myself. For now, though, I will leave you. I'm Thomas. This is Nerds to Human, and this has been Islanders New Shores. Very, very new symbols. Schlores? Shores. Thank you, and goodbye.
Let us have a moment for Domino, then, a giant of a commander who, frankly, I completely let down.
Yeah. Yes! That was so good! We'll shoot them as they land. Ow! Oh, we're fine. Everything is fine. Panic over. It's only a horde of Vikings. It's not actually a problem.